The TOTO LPGA Classic, part of the race to the CME Globe.
As the LPGA players have made their way around Asia, they would have become well aware of the number 8. It's seen as the path to good fortune in these parts, a lucky charm. And today in Japan, it may turn out to be that way for Feng. The Chinese superstar is looking to claim an 8th LPGA title and successfully defend for the first time in her illustrious career. But it won't be a walk in the park. Two of Japan's favourite golfing daughters are poised to pounce. 23-year-old Ai Suzuki is a rising star in her homeland, and today she has the chance to make the world sit up and take notice. And a player who is no doubt one of her idols, Momoko Ueda, put herself in the mix to win this prestigious crown for a third time. Or perhaps the trophy could fall into English hands for the first time after Charlie Hull came from nowhere to join the conversation with a sizzling Saturday 64. Shan has already eclipsed her winning total of last year at the Minori course, where she held Hanajang at bay by the barest of margins. She stands poised to join the likes of Annika Sorenstam and Betsy King as a multiple champion in the land of the rising sun. But with birdies aplenty there for the taking, this one might still go right down to the wire. Welcome to the Taiheiyo Club in Ibaraki. This is the final round of the 44th TOTO Japan Classic. And what a Sunday we have in prospect. It is great to have your company for what should turn out to be an exciting and dramatic final round in Japan. Peter Donegan with you, saying a big welcome to the Minori course at the Taiheiyo Club in Ibaraki for our final round coverage of this storied championship, the 44th staging. And some of the biggest names in golf have won this title. Let's look back at what happened in the second round and some of the moments that mattered. Charlie Hull of England got things going, and she was able to card a 64, and Charlie Hull most certainly is in the mix as we head into Sunday. But what about this? One of the best shots we've seen all week. The 23-year-old Ai Suzuki at the par 5, 17, nearly knocking it in the hole. She went on to make the eagle, and she is pushing Shan every inch of the way. But speaking of eagles, this was one of her own for Shan at the 12th, and that is why she carries the advantage going into the Sunday action in Japan. Is she going to win again after the victory over Hanajang 12 months ago? This is what the leaderboard looked like after 36 holes. We play 54 here. Shan by 2 from Ai Suzuki. The others, though, are 5 shots back from the lead. Charlie Hull, Min Young Lee heading the chasing pack, and a Nordquist at 9 under, along with Ayaka Watanabe of Japan, Momoko Ueda of Japan, and Lizette Salas of the United States. So let's look back at the highlights from earlier today. Lydia Ko able to get things off and running early, hit it to about 10 feet at the first. And Lydia rolled one in. It was a smooth start for her, but Ali Whittaker, who's in the box beside me, it wasn't such a smooth start for our leader.
It certainly wasn't. This for a par save for Feng. It broke the other way, and an immediate dropped shot, so the lead down to just 1 after the first hole.
And so that gives the rest of the field some little hope. Players including Moria Jutanagan. She'd been on the birdie train. She'd had 4 birdies up until this. This was her 3rd shot at 10. Perfect. 5 under for the day for little Mo. Here she comes.
Week in, week out, we talk about how the good players, the best players, react when they bogey. That was on the second. So bogey birdie start for Shan Feng.
And if you wanted confirmation of what Ali was just saying, she went on to make bogey at the third and then this at the fourth. So it was bogey birdie her first 4 holes. And then at the third, Anna Nordqvist, 192 yards today for the tall, athletic Swede. What a lovely shot it was. Better than lovely. Perfect. And Anna gets a 1 on her card, and that will help her up into 3rd place at present. So there's plenty going on behind the leaders. Shan with a bumpy ride so far. Suzuki has been 1 birdie, 1 bogey. She just made a bogey at the 6th hole. So she's back to 2 behind. Anna's now leapt ahead of the rest of the pack thanks to that hole in 1 at the third. She's picked up 3 and she is now 3 shots off the lead, so that's very doable. And the players at 11 under par will also be thinking they might be able to get the job done, included amongst them Lydia Ko. All right, out to the action on the golf course. Minjee Lee had a good charge going. It stalled at the previous hole. She made bogey at the par 5, 9th. Hard to get it all the way back to the pin at the 10th. We've seen that from the action so far. And she's got it online, but still with a lengthy putt coming for her birdie.
It's starting to turn into one of those days where we're not really sure where to look on the leaderboard. We thought it would be a simple equation after the magnificent play from Shan Feng and Suzuki, but Moria Jutanagan is inserting herself into the picture. Just a little bit pulled left there on 12, but it is a par 5, so maybe a chance for an up and down for a birdie. 480 yards today.
She's looking at it wondering, how the hell did I get over there at 12 with that Kusanagi tree in the way. Back at 10, Minjee, as we said, got some red figures on her card early on after starting at 7 under. She made a birdie at 4, birdie at 5, birdie at 7, birdie at 8. Looking good.
Get it.
The edge, the dreaded edge.
These edges are sharp. They're not doing anyone any favours on the bent grass greens. They don't usually lip in when they're cut so pristinely. And that's been the case here this week on the Minori course.
Minjee will be looking to get a good round going today, not only for the prize money and the points that go along with it, but to take some good form to Blue Bay next week, where she'll be the defending champion. Off to the left at 12. We saw what she did when she was left of 10, chipped it in. No repetition there for Moria, but still the potential for a birdie in $1 million year for the young lady. She's the big sister of Area, but that's big in age rather than stature.
They don't look that much alike. I'm going to say it. Area has her by about 7 inches, I'd say. Higa for birdie. Down the hill, right to left. Oh, could she?
Hey, that's right.
Not much happening for Mamika so far. She picked up just the 1 shot. And that came at the 5th hole. Apart from that, pars all the way. But when we look at the scorecard of this young lady, she's picked up birdie at the first, got things going early on, then made birdie at 4, birdie at 6, chipped it in for birdie at 10.
hasn't actually played that much golf since she was a real contender at Evian about 7 weeks ago. She played last week in Malaysia, finished 39th there. She had 5 weeks off on tour, the 23-year-old. Former world #1, Jie Shin. Will that cling on to the back edge? 11 top 10s this year on the JLPGA, 22 career titles. 16, I should say, actually. I gave her a couple extra.
That's a par for Moria. Her best finish in this tournament was last year. Or in fact, I should say, that was Area who finished 10th last year. Moria hasn't finished better than 30th in this tournament.
Paying Chai. Nice fluid golf swing. And that's turned out pretty nicely, not dissimilar to a couple of putts we've seen earlier today.
Sarah Jane Smith, after a cracking approach to the 12th hole, or the 11th hole when she made birdie, she's at 12 now. Oh! Well, it had 2 looks at the water and hit it both times. Flying start early for Lydia. She's so good with this club in her hand. And with the driving distance that she has, she needs to be, because she's spotting a lot of players around 20 yards or even a bit more on average driving distance. But when she gets that club in her hand, she's so confident. And she's elevated herself from a tie for 10th at the start of the day to a tie for 4th. Shanshan still has the lead. Her lead is 2, as it was at the beginning of the day. But Suzuki now has some company, because Anna Nordqvist has picked up a birdie at the 8th hole, and she's moved into a tie for 2nd. It's China at the top, round 3 at the TOTO Japan Classic of 2017.
We are only 2 events away until the race to the CME Globe. There are the standings. And the interesting name there is Christy Kerr, who's not playing this week or next week. It's the top 5 players going into the CME Group Tour Championship that will control their own destiny. If they win the tournament, they take away the $1 million bonus prize. The top 12 have a mathematical chance. So you could well see Stacey Lewis move up. Shanshan will move up. If she wins today, she's in the top 10 already.
Exactly. She will move up from 9th place to 5th place if she wins today.
Lovely weight by Teresa Liu. She's got a real spring in her step, Teresa Liu, and she marches around the golf course. When you have a scorecard like that, it certainly helps.
When you have a record like hers as well, 3 wins this year, 10 top 10s on top of that, picked up just a little under $850,000 US.
Must have had trouble off the tee for it to be her 3rd shot for Anna, but many ways to set up a birdie.
Presumably maybe some kind of chip out or layup involved.
Now this Kusunoki tree is a problem.
Absolutely.
straight over the Kusunoki tree and in close.
One of the few players that's planning on playing all 5 of the Asian swing events.
And
Lizette.
that's tough. That's exhausting.
To be fair, with her finishes, 2nd, well, 3rd, 4th and 13th, I'd keep that racehorse on the track. Just keep on playing some golf, Lizette. It's certainly clicking for her at the moment.
What a good 3-ball that we have here. There is Lizette Salas and Anna Norquist, and then this, the final group, marching up the 11th hole. Shan Feng, you'd think she was just going out for a stroll on the back 9 of the club competition. Such a relaxed demeanour. A great deal at stake. Impressed to see Suzuki keep up with the very best.
I think it's a great sign for golf in Japan.
It's a chance for Ko. 5 under par today. She's 3 back. Can she get that 15th win?
Oh, I'm sorry, 19 and 9. Sorry, 28 total.
What's that extra?
28, 2, 21. 21, 28, 21, 28.
Sound is helping with the opposite. The mouse moving.
Yes, very little right now.
So 110, 28 total, 27.
27 is fine. Yep.
This is the one that you have.
Yeah, the ridge right of it releases right to left, correct.
Great shot with an 8-iron for Shan. Good crowd surrounding the back of 11, as we will see down the final stretch. Lewis making up this Solheim Cup 3-ball with Anna Norquist and Lizette Salas. Eagle opportunity.
Started left and will probably turn left.
Left is sensational.
And that's a very makeable putt as well. That's really, you know, the easiest spot to attack that hole location from, below it on the left side.
Lydia Ko said after playing with Suzuki on the opening day, she's never seen a player hold so many mid-range putts. And that's high praise coming from Ko with one of the best short games in the world. Norquist getting close as well. This to move to 13 under and within 3. She's got her fist pumping.
Vicious swing at it from Charlie. Oh, and that was really only a yard or 2 short of getting the kick down to the left.
T is back on 18. This is Mi Hyang Lee.
Sit soft. Sit soft. Soft.
Well, the crowds assembled behind the 18th have been rewarded with some tremendous shots into the heart of 18. That was beautiful. Big opportunity for Salas. And the Solheim Cup player from Azusa has made it to 13 under par, is becoming a congested leaderboard. Everybody is trying to hunt down Shan Feng and are going about it the right way.
And a past winner here, Mi Hyang Lee. And she too makes it. So a final flourish for Mi Hyang Lee. Eagle birdie finish for a 66. And she is the clubhouse leader.
And you should Coco with a score of 30 on the back nine. That's with a 7 on the card at the 9th hole. Ouch.
She had 2 3-putts in the first round. That one adds to the tally.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and then a little bit back uphill.
Make it?
Yep, I do.
Shan Shan has the lead by 1. This is to get to 17 under. Suzuki also is in close.
Go.
If you put 100 putting strokes in front of me, I think I could tell you which one was Shan Shan. She always has the toe up in the air. She takes the club head back way outside, out to the right, and then kind of cuts across it most of the time.
The older sister of Arya Jatanagan. This is Moria staring this down, and for very good reason. We've been rewarded with some excellent ball striking this week. Number of players producing some great stats. 17 greens, 18 greens we've had. Not often you see that by a number of players.
Absolutely. Momoko Ueda, one of the players that has hit 18 greens. Stacey Lewis, another, along with Anna Nordqvist yesterday. And that is so rare. Usually you might have one of those during a tournament, but to have that many.
Regarded as the best putter on tour, if she holds this, there'll be joint honours at the top of the leaderboard between Shan Shan and Ai Suzuki. TOTO has stats this week for Ai Suzuki. Those greens in regulation on the opening day. 17 out of 18, not as many yesterday. But look how good she is on the par 5s, 3 under and 4 under par. Eagled 17. Great chance she has here at 11 to join Shan Shan.
Absolutely, with 12 coming up next, another par 5. But for now, it hinges on this.
Big opportunity missed. This is a great tee shot from Moria. Yet to win on tour. Unlikely it's going to happen today. It won't. But this to move to 11 under.
Ironically, she has the ability. She started the week at 10th on the race to the CME Globe, as Shan Shan tidies up for par. But even with the top 10 finish, she'd go out to 12th on that list. It's a tough gig.
Ai Suzuki had the chance to draw honours even with Shan Shan Feng at the top of the leaderboard. It was a short missed putt at the 11th. So the gap at the top remains 1. Shan Shan has had this tournament by the scruff of the neck. Won it last year, looking to defend in 2017. But it's a congested leaderboard, and it's all to play for in Japan.
A chance to get to 14 under par for Lydia Ko. Oh, go on. It won't be a dull finish. I think we can say that quite fairly, given some of the really exciting holes coming up in particular in those last few on the back nine. It's a very attackable golf course, but can't afford to let your guard down for a second, particularly to those back pins.
.150 yards today for Anna Nordqvist. Exceptional with an iron in hand.
Come on, all the way.
I don't know what I would have said if she'd had 2 hole-in-ones in one round. It would have been a bit greedy.
Drop back to Momoko Ueda. Let's join the putting action on the 12th hole. The get out of jail pants on. Didn't find the bottom of the hole that time. Well, Lewis missed a tiddler on the previous hole, walked off the green with a thunderous look of rage. This time, though, it's a chance of a birdie. The former world number 1 just looks a bit irritated with her game yesterday and today, getting frustrated with a few shots.
Watanabe on the par 5. One of the more exciting players to watch. Just from off the fringe there for Lizette Salas.
Min-Young Lee. Oh, that's an excellent birdie from the South Korean. 11 under. When you look at the closing stretch of holes, Ali, you've got the, the 2 par 5s, you've got the 2 par 3s, and there are opportunities there, and it is easy as well for a momentary lapse of concentration to find yourself out the reckoning.
Well, Anna Nordqvist is trying to not have one of those right now. Coincidentally, I was looking at the stats, and the leaders of the hole-in-ones are Moria Jutanagan and Marina Alex. Imagine if Anna Nordqvist had equalled them in one round alone, but that one popped in for birdie, so she gets to 14 under par.
Big shot now for Shan Shan. Par 5, 12. So that's to fly over the Kusunoki tree. Yes! That is one mighty blow.
Getting the kick off the back edge of the bunker.
Right into the gap between. I think I see it on.
Yeah.
Because it landed right in between.
Over to you, Ai Suzuki. She's 1 back. Shan Shan's on the green in 2 with an eagle opportunity. Iron in hand.
They're not even looking at the hole. They're looking out to the right, and that's probably why she's got those trees impeding her view on the left-hand side of the hazard. So, lay up. And that is drawing as well.
Oh, she would have had a heart in her mouth. Big advantage to Shan Shan. That could be a very decisive hole, the 12th. A gift for Shan Shan there.
Minji Lee on 16. It's an interesting thing that's happening on the golf course this week because a lot of the LPGA players aren't used to being able to fire at pins that are in the back half of the green. Usually you get a middle yardage and then you roll out to a back pin, but it's hard to get your mind around. And Shanshan's adapted really nicely because she and Mercer just get a number and then she just hits at the number, so she doesn't really, think too much about the back edge. But it is certainly just a change up from the mental side.
Well, mentally, this player, Ai Suzuki, is going to have to dig deep. She's got to get up and down. Shanshan has an opportunity of an eagle, where she could move to 18 under par. She's most probably going to get to 17 under. Ai Suzuki will then find herself 2 back if she doesn't get up and down as you move on to the difficult 13th.
I don't think you want to give Shanshan a 2-shot lead when everyone's done such a good job today of really putting pressure on and applying pressure. Anna Nordqvist, Lydia Ko, both 5 under par for today. Charlie Hull's 3rd shot. Just out of the rough. The most ideal layup.
She's in the go zone. Well, we know that any player who scores an eagle on the 17th hole will be given a prize of $4,300. That hole is to come. But the 12th hole can prove to be a very decisive hole for Shanshan Feng and Ai Suzuki. Shanshan is on the green in 2, has an eagle opportunity. Ai Suzuki must keep up and down to stay within striking distance of the Chinese superstar. Between her and the pin, it's a small matter of a Kusunoki tree. How good was that under pressure?
Much needed. That's what's required. When Shanshan hits a good shot, Suzuki needs to respond immediately just to keep niggling at Shanshan's heels.
But she's going to have to settle for a birdie, and it might not turn out to be the advantage at 12 that she thought momentarily that she was going to get, for reasons which we will tell you about in a moment. In fact, let's do it right now, because Ai Suzuki had her problems. This was a moment ago. This was her 3rd shot with Shanshan on the green ready to putt for eagle. How's that for a response? And just when you thought there might be a 2-shot swing, they perhaps will both walk off with the same score.
Geez, that's 2 very makeable putts on the trot that Suzuki has not taken advantage of.
Stand, please.
With Shanshan then at tap-in range, the lead is going to go back to 2 where it was at the start of the day.
Pretty handy there from Lydia Ko. So one birdie chance coming up for the New Zealander.
And just a tap in for Charlie Hull, whose chances of victory have disappeared, and a tap in for Shan, but it's a tap in birdie. So out she goes to 17 under par, and she's got a 2-shot lead over that young lady. 2 shots against a player of this caliber is no easy task, but we know that Sunday brings a different kind of pressure. It was a pressure that Shan seemed to feel in Malaysia last week at times, but she still nearly won the golf tournament. But she's in the driver's seat to defend for the first time on the LPGA Tour.
Interestingly enough, Shan's year, as it's progressed, she gets worse as her rounds go along. So her first round is actually nearly 1.5 shots lower than her final round averages for the year.
Moria has had a very good day and it just got a bit better. Birdie at the last, a round of 66 at 12 under par tally, and plenty of bucks in the bank after that.
As scoreable as this golf course is, you just can't get the feeling that there's enough birdies left. They just keep on coming. Where are they coming from? A chance here for Lydia Ko. Oh. Would have got her within 2 of the lead.
Yeah, you're fine.
150 yards.
On the right.
This has been the most accessible pin position that we've seen at 13. We have seen so many players just take dead aim, and we've seen at least half a dozen players get it within 5 feet. Dead aim it is. There's that 5-foot circle again.
Back down the chute at 14.
Sounds like a shooting gallery.
It's interesting, the echo that you do get from 14T. You really feel like you're out somewhere in the woods, not really on a golf course. One of the tougher pins for Suzuki to get to. She does generally play with the draw, so a front right pin doesn't necessarily set up that well for her. Just a short club in hand, however.
At the start of the day, we were relishing the prospect of a battle between these two. Well, we're getting it. This is so enjoyable to watch. Three to play. One of them's a par 5. Two-putt territory most certainly for the young lady from England. Birdie chances for the top 2. And you honestly wouldn't know whether it was a local club afternoon or whether she was 6 over par or 6 under par. Her demeanour is always the same.
One of the most refreshing on tour.
Yeah.
This would be her 21st global win as well. Sarah Jane Smith has had a fabulous day on the golf course. Started at 6 under, Now 12 under.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Get up there.
She's picked up 17 places after starting the day in a tie for 23rd spot. Up into a tie for 6th, so a couple of good weeks for Sarah. And hubby Dwayne. Lovely finishing setting around the Minori course at the Taiho Club in Ibaraki Prefecture in Japan. Is it going to be Shan Shan? She began the day 2 up. She is 2 up already. Both she and I have putts for birdie at the short 13. There's plenty more drama still to come, plenty more birdies still to come before we decide the champion in Japan in 2017. Lap of honour, and you need breaks like that if you're going to win. Over to you, I.
It's okay.
She's lipped in more putts than anyone this week. She lipped one in at 16 yesterday, and practically nobody else is lipping in.
It's not often you say Shan Shan Feng has been the best putter in terms of putts per green in regulation. She was in the top 10 yesterday.
The hole just got a whole lot smaller.
And this will be the 3rd putt of a similar distance that Suzuki has had, and she's missed the previous 2.
And these are they. That's at 11. And then at the par 5. So she's got to block out all of those thoughts. Easier said than done. And as Shan Shan's lips in, Suzuki gets the power lip out.
You can see it written all over her face. She knew how important that was.
And it's demoralising. That is 3 consecutive putts within 8 foot for the best player on tour when it comes to putting. Last thing she needs at this critical stage.
This to finish a good day with a flourish. Not quite this time for Sarah Jane Smith, but still a very pleasing final round. That will be a 6 under par 66 for the Australian. And she's had a couple of good weeks.
A nice way to finish. Now she can go back and finish landscaping their backyard in Orlando, Florida.
She might have a few extra funds as well to put a few bonsai bushes in.
Just a par for Charlie. And it's going to be just a par at best for Suzuki as well. So the task is going to be a very difficult one. It's going to be, in all likelihood, 3 shots to make up over the last 5 holes. By the way, for the last 5 holes this week, Shan Shan's been exactly the same as Suzuki. They've played them in -6, and has just been 1 better in the last 3 holes. But when the difference is 3, that might not be enough.
Pei Chai playing alongside Lydia Ko is to get to double digits under par. And a very nice putt for the Taiwanese player. He's full time on the Japanese tour, a sprinkling of events in Taiwan.
That's a par for Lizette at the 14th. So she does stay in that tie with Lydia at 13 under. Lucky for some. $225,000 to the winner this week in a $1.5 million purse.
And not just
Yeah, exactly.
money.
It's not gonna,
A
Yeah.
Mercedes
looks like a
Benz.
little bit right to left early and then straightening out. It's not trying to go back to the right at the hole.
And a few other things.
Yeah, from here it's almost like the
Yes.
Huh?
Yogurt,
Does that feel right to left it?
rice and eggs for a year.
Overall, you see just a little bit right.
And a pearl necklace.
So you can wear the necklace in the car whilst you're eating all of the food that you've just won.
Only if somebody else is driving.
Yes. You're going to the bank to drop off that check.
There you go.
She's got third place to herself right at the moment, and this putt to stay that way. What a good up and down.
Just a little tidy up required. So Lydia Ko remains at 13 under par. It's been some very solid golf from the New Zealander today.
And what that's doing too is it's putting her up to projected 10th in the race to the CME Globe. So if she even improves her standing in the top dozen, Minjee can't quite complete a difficult up and down. Yet again, it's going to be a good finish, but
I know.
not the victory she was after.
This is going to be a dropped shot for Stacey Lewis. Her charge in this final round hasn't unfolded. She definitely knows she's left a handful of shots out on the golf course. Just 8 under par.
How aggressive you can be on 17 all depends on the tee shot. You really want to hug those left trees. Yei Shin seems reasonably happy. Birdied this hole on the first day, parted on the second day.
Well, we've already talked about Lydia's length off the tee, or comparatively lack of length. Is she going to be able to get it down to the downslope? And if she does, then she can pick up 20 or 30 yards of run. A bit bolder line, and it will pick up a little bit of the downslope.
Don't put me down for this shot. Nishiyama can have it.
Please.
She can have it time and time again. Missed her drive out toward the right sand. Like an absolute dart at the pin.
Playing with her as the first round leader, who had joint honours at the top, Jane Park. What can Park muster on 18? Oh, how good was that with a hybrid in hand? Great example of how those new shafts are working for Jane Park, getting a higher ball flight, able to control the ball as it lands softly adjacent to the pin.
A little high five from both players after spectacular shots into the final hole.
You have to wonder what Suzuki might want to pay for that. One of those 2 shots.
Yeah.
At about an hour's time.
I'll tell you who else would pay for a shot like that. This young lady, Se-Young Kim. At the moment, she's entered the day 13th in the race to the CME Globe, and she is 13th at the moment on the projections. So if she can just pick up a birdie here, who knows, that might see her improve her place, because if you get up into the top dozen, you're a mathematical chance.
Yep.
And she's got a chance of a birdie. They've got that one surrounded. Still, the main game is at the top, but now it's a 3-shot cushion compared to the 2-shot advantage that Shan Shan had at the start of the day. The defending champion making all the right moves to defend successfully for the first time. There's a few with their eyes on the prize in Japan, but it's Shan Shan who is the closest to making it come true. And let's have a look back over the last hour and see why that might be the case. Her main rival, Suzuki, came up with one of the shots of the day. From the left rough at 10. Nobody getting it all the way back there today, except Have a look at this for a shot. As good as we've seen today, and that set up a birdie, and she was able to close the gap by 1 shot.
On the 12th hole, the par 5. A lot of players were able to get home in 2. Salas decided to take it straight over the Kusunoki tree and in close. That was excellent up or down for Salas. Got her to 12 under for the championship.
After a hole-in-one on the 3rd hole, Anna Nordqvist must have felt like the holes were huge on these par 3s, firing straight at it again there on the 13th. Knocked that one in for birdie.
And 13 was the sign of 2 decisive moments. First of all, Shan Shan lipping it all around and getting the birdie putt, and what was to follow was significant too.
After missed putts on 11 and 12 for Suzuki, this was a must-make to stay within striking distance of Shan Shan. But the player widely regarded on the Japanese tour as the best putter could not get the flat stick to work, and that was 3 consecutive missed putts within 8 foot.
And you could tell by the look on her face that it was starting to get to her. Things are still not cast in stone just yet. The engraver is not doing any work on the trophy to put Shan Shan's name on for the 2nd time just yet, but it's looking increasingly likely with a 3-shot cushion. After a wonderful approach into the final hole, Jane Park to end a very good week with a birdie.
One of the most alluring shots we see on the back 9, this 2nd into 17. But maybe not for Lydia Ko.
It's not the worst place to be, that bunker. Showing off some dance moves even on 18.
How's that for a closing birdie? Out of that trap, Yukari Nishikama comes up with a 70 in the final round and finds herself 9 shots away from the pace, but still a very good week on the big stage. Jane Park has this putt for a 4 under 68 after opening with a 66 to put herself in a 7-way tie after the first round. What a shame. All of those putts are worth quite a few dollars at this stage.
Ooh, she's walking after it. That's going to be good. Not as good as I think she thought it was going to be. Reminiscent of that shot she played into 18 at the Solheim Cup against Lexi Thompson, where she started walking as soon as she struck it.
And what a match that was.
You can do it. Okay.
26-year-old Pei Ying Chai.
Saw a marker on the green that belongs to Jia Shin. She's already up there.
Knock it in.
Knock it in. I think I heard Pete Godfrey say just then.
Well, she's going to have to, really. She's got to make eagle here and birdie at the last, probably, to be any hope, and then hope for a miracle.
Such heavy sand in that left-hand bunker.
So the win's out of the question, but it's going to be an 11th top 10 finish for Lydia this year, but no top ones.
Still, it's been a pretty good day at the office for Minjee Lee. 5 under par, walking up to the green on 18. And as we've talked about, the final rounds, especially when you have a tournament that you're teeing up at the next week, gaining some momentum before you get to the next venue is all important.
A chance for Norquist. There's a little bit of movement in this putt. It's not the first time today that Anna has left her putt short. Hasn't quite got the measure of the pace of these greens. She had a sluggish start last week in Malaysia. Had high hopes for a player who's finished so well, but after that holiday, maybe just a little bit relaxed.
Our leader by 3, so if she can hit the centre of the green and 2-putt from here on in, it should be just about enough.
It does all hinge on Shan Shan's putting.
There's the equation right there. Shan Shan will be aiming mostly for the middle of the green, and now I has just got to go for it and put the foot down. Dare to dream.
That's not the part of the game that's been a problem for Suzuki today. It's those 3 missed putts.
And not a dissimilar length coming up again. So the little person that sits on your shoulder or in your head will be talking quite loudly by now.
every now and then you get to the back end of a golf tournament and you look at the momentum changes and potentially the lack of them, which is actually what's happening at the moment. We had so many on the front nine today where Shan was going back and forth for those initial 4 holes, and then a couple of real missed opportunities on the back nine already for Suzuki. But will there be another before play's end?
.67, a good way to close for the Australian to finish at -12, so it will be another top 10 for Minjee Lee. And that will be her 10th top 10 of the year so far. She'll head to Blue Bay next week with an early start to the tournament, by the way. It starts on Wednesday to give the players some time to get back to Florida for the big one in Naples, CME Group Tour Championship. Minjee will go to next week as defending champion on Hainan Island. Shan, centre of the green at 14. 2 putts will keep her at 18 under, but Suzuki can close the gap. Can she close out, though, a putt of around 8 or 10 feet? She hasn't been able to do it recently. She better change that. 12 months ago, Shan got there by a shot from Hannah Zhang in what turned out to be a tight finish where it looked comfortable for most of the day. It looks comfortable at the moment. That may change a little here at the 14th. You'd think 2 putts would be more than acceptable. 1 would be a bonus. So a little opening for the 23-year-old from Japan.
You're okay. Okay, at the moment.
I feel the need to point out the conditions changing as well. The shadows really starting to reach over the green.
A scrambling par from Lydia Ko, the 17th. She's 1 back of 3rd place. She's got 4th outright.
And the change in lighting will play into the hands of players like Suzuki. Maybe this for Charlie Hull.
Good try there.
Wants to just have a little think about that one. And you can bet there's a fair bit of thinking going on right here now. We know what's happened in the previous 3 holes with putts of a very similar length. And we're back to game on again. Suzuki cuts the gap to 2. And maybe that monkey is off the back before it turned into a gorilla.
It's when she needs to start drawing on previous experiences on those final holes that she nearly holed out on 17 for Albatross. So some confidence boosters may be coming up, but wouldn't this be a big moment?
Yeah.
Par it is. So Shan is 2 in front.
Happy.
All the way ahead to the finishing hole.
Quite a reasonable amount of lateral movement with her lower half in that swing, Lids. And it's going to be interesting to see whether she can actually take a direct line at the hole from there, or if the left trees might interfere.
Anytime you find yourself outside the gallery ropes, you're not where you want to be. Don't want to be rubbing shoulders with the fans until after the round.
Absolutely.
It was a good line from Anna, but just not the power that she needed to get it there.
I think she might have been anticipating a little bit more help from the breeze as well. It's part and parcel, really, of these tree-lined golf courses that you have to look at the tops of the trees, because that's where the ball is generally going to fly. There's not much point hitting it underneath their apex where the wind isn't blowing.
Very good from long range. Unusual to see a player at the top. We have seen a few. Lexi's been one where you're a highly ranked player, but your putting averages. She's 113th in putting. Anna Nordquist.
She switched coaches this year. She was actually coach-free for about 3 or 4 months from April onward, and then picked up Cameron McCormick, one of the very used coaches really now. So Yeon Yu, Sue O, Jordan Spieth, just to mention a few names in his stable.
Jordan Spieth recently played golf with Barack Obama, former president, and Hideki Matsuyama will be teeing it up either today or tomorrow in Japan with Donald Trump.
Well, the birdie she's been able to make there at 14 has made the task manageable. It's still difficult though. I lead Shanshan down to the tee. Shanshan leads where it matters most, on the leaderboard.
Perfect line over that right-hand bunker on 15. Maybe just to the left of it for Suzuki. Usually if you can hit it down around about 245 off the tee, it does launch forward, gets the power play.
You look at her back nine score, Suzuki. She made birdie on 10. She's hit it close every opportunity she's had on the back nine. Only made 2 birdies.
Yeah, I could just have that cut line.
That's the danger. If you try and fly that bunker, you can hang it up in the rough.
Not the friendliest angle either to this green, just the nature of it, the undulations.
They're going one way, we're going the other. So let's go to Pei Ying Chai. She's come up with some wonderful moments today. When you consider the company that she's in, playing with Lydia Ko and Jia Shin, we talked about perhaps the intimidation factor of that. Well, she stood up to it remarkably well.
Especially given that she's ranked around about 39th on the money list on the JLPGA this year. I wouldn't call her one of the favourites coming into this week.
Not her usual accuracy. Jia Shin with those hybrids. I remember her using that to great effect when she won the HSBC Women's Champions back in 2009.
Right of the Japan Classic sign.
I don't need to though.
Okay, we'll go Japan then.
Lydia just letting Pete know who's the boss.
Well, she's missed 90%, he's missed a 10.
And that was what you were talking about, Ali. Too far down the left-hand side, blocked out, couldn't take a direct line at the pin. Take your medicine. She doesn't show a lot of emotion out in the golf course, but I think she was a bit steamy about that par that she made at 17, which was a scramble par.
Pete Godfrey, who carries the bag for Lydia Ko, but is indeed married to Jane Park, who had the share of the lead after the first day. They got married at the beginning of this year.
They eloped, in fact. Didn't tell the families, just went down to the city hall.
Not even Lydia went?
Not even Tiffany Joe went, Jane's best friend.
I think when you consider that some of the hassles that sort of thing can bring along, it might have been a very wise choice.
What, you mean the hassles of having Tiff Joe there?
No, just who goes, who doesn't.
But that's a valid point.
That bird got her right in the middle of the backswing, unexpected noise. Hang on. Just.
To challenge, she needs to start making putts outside 5 feet, realistically.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally.
Or she needs this woman to falter.
That's correct.
As good as you want. Come on. Come on.
All over it.
Yeah. Looks like just below the hole. Perfect.
Perfect, says Mercer. I ponders the next move, and we move to Lydia at the closing hole. Third shot. So she'll have that putt for a closing round of 67. And that will give her 4th place by herself as we sit right now.
Pars throughout the week for Momoko. We're at the 16th hole. She might be happy with a par today. Walked off after that, and that is why anything slightly right will be gobbled up by that greenside bunker, and not a lot of green to play with. Short-sighted herself.
Clubhouse is getting closer. The victory is getting closer to Shan Shan. Not done yet though. Suzuki's got a work to do. Shan Shan's got a birdie putt coming. If she can hold it and I doesn't manage to make a birdie, then we are getting to the territory where it's going to be exceptionally difficult for the 23-year-old rising star from the land of the rising sun. Shan Shan Feng getting closer to defending in the TOTO Japan Classic. Now there's a good illustration. It's uphill for the first little bit.
It's so easy to end up catching those putts high on the putter face, and that's what it sounded like. It didn't sound like a very good strike to me from I there. Just because when you put the putter face down behind the ball, it actually sinks into the grass a little bit, so the ball ends up being a little misaligned.
Jie Shin from long range at the final hole. She's thrilled us all with a 64 yesterday, holding her second shot at 7 on the way. What a delight it is to see her in action again. We don't get to see enough of her.
Clearly thriving on the Japanese tour, as she always has done. Obviously, Jie Shin in the majors, and then with a very nice score of 69 today, moves her to 10 under par for the championship. Not her week, but still a very good performance.
In light then of what Suzuki has just done, this putt becomes pretty critical because it gives her the opportunity to lead by 3 with 3 to play.
Go.
It sounds cliche, but 2 shots is very, very doable when you think about, in particular, the whole location on 16 can be quite punishing if you do miss it either side. 17, we've seen so many players make par, but we've also seen 11 eagles yesterday.
And then this hole, the 18th, the team move back as we watch Pei Ying Chai. Has certainly produced its fair array of scores. Yesterday, you mentioned the 17th. It's a good example of Lexi Thompson. Didn't have much club in hand. She walked away with a 6. Very easy to make some careless mistakes on 17. Here we are with Anna Norquist in the go zone.
I said there was 11 eagles yesterday. Luckily for the organisers, it's actually 11 total for the first 2 rounds. They were a bit terrified because there's 500,000 yen up for grabs for every eagle on 17. They were probably sweating bullets for a moment.
A bit over $4,000 to convert that amount. Lydia, can she close with a par?
That would be a no.
So the elusive win is still not on the card of Lydia Cohen 2017, with 2 events still to come on the schedule.
Par saver for Ayaka Watanabe.
Three career wins on the JLPGA. Yet to have a win so far this year, however. It's been a bit of a different 2017 for Ayaka.
Yeah.
Pretty pleasing closing round for Pei Ying Chai.
Thank you.
She had some really good moments in a 70. That is a good finish to get it around in 10 under par. A warm embrace between 2 former world number 1s.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Somewhere, you know, there's a naked zebra running around, I think, with Momoko's pants.
Somebody's just got out of jail.
No, she had her farmer's shirt on the other day. Ever stylish Momoko. It's interesting listening to the crowds and the way that they react to the golf, because sometimes even when they're halfway down the fairway, they just make these noises as they're walking. They see the ball going by.
One of those days for Brittany Altamari. She's +2, which on this course, and the way the scoring's been, must be akin to feeling like you're having 100.
Great shot into 17 from the Evian champion. Anna Norquist has an eagle opportunity now. Currently 14 under par.
Fly left to right over off.
I like a foot left to right.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting a good feel for the speed overall.
Anna Norquist
Foot left to right.
requiring a similar finish to Mi Hyang Lee. Made eagle on 17, birdie to 18.
Third place worth around the $100,000 mark, just under $100,000. Winner gets $225, and Anna's got third as we speak. She's 2 back from Suzuki. Stalking this from every angle.
Kind of jumped, yeah? Kind of jumped.
Yeah.
Holes are running out for the 23-year-old. Not with shots like that. That's about as close as she came to holding her second shot at 17 yesterday.
Brilliant under pressure. Her irons into these greens have been exceptional.
Trying to finish with a flourish. This sounded a little bit heavy. Might still get back there. So on you.
Well, this is a very big shot now for Shan. Shan leaded by 2. Suzuki in close.
That's fine.
Suzuki's going to have to force the issue. Just like Anna Nordquist has. That's a birdie on 17. And now she's within 3.
Here's Teresa Liu. Really is such a promising player. 4th on the money list. 15 wins she has in her highly decorated career on the LPGA Tour. 3 of those have come in 2017.
Her name's on the trophy here. She did that 4 years ago. So it's advantage I for this hole anyway. Shan-Shan's in a position where she might have a look at being able to perhaps chip it in or have a putt. Let's move ahead to see whether Soyeon, the world #1, can finish with a closing birdie. Things have got exceptionally difficult over the closing holes for Soyeon. In fact, at the 14th, she had a quadruple bogey.
Nice little bounce back there at the end, but can't afford to give that many shots away to a field like this, playing so well.
To start with, yeah. Yeah. Slightly uphill, correct.
It's self-evident to say she would love to knock this in, but what it would do, apart from getting a further shot beneath par, is it would say to Suzuki, anything you can do, I can match, no matter how close you put it. She nearly made that statement too.
It was an aggressive putt.
I'm genuinely surprised she left the flag in for that. It was very makeable, but it's rare that you see a putt with the flag left in from that close range off the green.
Alta Murray tugged her approach into the 18th. She didn't seem happy with it, but does present herself with a chance of a birdie. That's a very tidy 3. Those crowds look like they've been firmly settled there for the last couple of hours, and why not? Good seat.
Brittany's caddy relationship's been like musical chairs this year. She's had 3 caddies in the last 3 months, so eventually she'll have to settle down. Words usually reserved for this woman, Charlie Hull.
At 18. Teresa Louvre skates it over the edge, and how many times have we seen players do that over the last 3 days? Another pretty good week though, in a part of the world that she has come to call home. 69 to finish. Teresa
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you.
is tied 11th. And here's the moment now. If she's going to win, you'd think this has to fall. With authority. Maybe she's just too young to be frightened. It's tight at the top. It has been all day, but after not that long ago it was 3. It's back to 1 now. And we've got the par 5 17th to come, and Suzuki produced what was close to the shot of the tournament yesterday at the 17th. This one looked like being a great battle on Sunday, and that's the way it's turned out to be. They've separated themselves now from Anna Nordqvist, who has 1 hole to play. Shanshan has holed out and made her par at the 16th, so they have 2 to play. It's China leading Japan by 1. An epic conclusion coming up in the TOTO Japan Classic. Just when it looked like Shanshan Feng was getting ready to think about what she might say in her victory speech, along comes The 23-year-old from Japan has closed the gap from 3 to 1, and she heads to a hole where she produced arguably the shot of the tournament yesterday. Nearly made albatross at the par 5. She'll be thinking birdie at worst. Shanshan's starting to think she might have to make a birdie. And so after the walk, now they're there. Take it along the tree line, left if you can.
The crowds are lining this 17th fairway.
close to the trees as you dare, Shan Shan on the left side.
Birdie on this hole both days this week.
Just seem to nestle down a little bit. Collectively between I and Shan Shan, they've played this hole 4 times between them and they're 5 under par.
Charlie's got the best seat in the house now to watch this battle unfolding. She's got other things on her mind, of course, but she's only even par for the day, so she's out of the mix.
Those cheers echo through the pines down that narrow entrance that begins the 17th hole. So Suzuki in a good position to get home in 2. Meanwhile, up ahead, here's Anna Norquist.
Been some pretty steady golf from the Swede since the 12th hole, 3 under for her last 6, and a chance to make that 4 under for her last 7.
There's always the chance it was going to come out hot and maybe turned over a little bit. That's not going to be easy from way back there.
Just a nice smooth.
Go, 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 go.
It will be pin high. Lewis has won 12 times on the LPGA Tour, including 2 majors. She's not going to be a winner here this week.
And she'll have that putt for a round of 70 to close. Had a brilliant ball striking day yesterday, hit every green. Today's been a test for the former world #1 though. Here's a young lady who in time to come could perhaps grab that world #1 ranking. What a player she is. We've been privileged to see her in action. Matt. Green is still in action at 17, so we're going to go forward a bit to the closing hole and wait for the drama to unfold 1 hole behind.
Lily rifled her approach through the green and now has this very tricky up and down for Salas.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
This is actually back into the grain of the grass. You can see it sticking up. So hard to get any kind of spin.
Picked up close to $230,000 so far in the Asian swing.
And that's how she does it. She's ranked inside the top 10 on the LPGA in scrambling. She's one of the grittiest players on tour. Just never seems to make too many silly mistakes. We saw her miss a short putt earlier in the week on 17 that was about 2.5 feet for birdie. But aside from that, I can't think of anything in the last 3 weeks that she's done that has been any massive errors at least.
She's such a gritty player. She qualified for the tour in a 9-player 1-spot playoff to earn her card, the only player who made it through. So she knows about the how complex and difficult this game can be. A lot of heart.
And if she stays where she is now, it'll be in excess of 70,000. So that's $300,000 so far of her year, contributed by this late season Asian swing.
She's going to wish this Asian swing went forever.
Yeah, just the one more week to go.
Just like Shan Shan.
Stacey Lewis, in contrast, not the day she was looking for. A 71 it will be then for the 2012 winner. Huge shot right now. Leading by 1.
Go.
She's not thrilled with it.
Okay, we're watching. You've got our attention.
So now, see if you can turn the mind back 24 hours. See if you can get that same feeling in the hands.
Really only, say, a yard or two of kicking up and forward, drawing in like that.
You know that scat over there? That's where I thought I had it finishing.
Might come down to a test of short games on 17.
Just one shot between them.
A good week for the Swede. Unfortunately doesn't finish with a birdie, but she has 3rd place to herself, and after shaking off the cobwebs over the last couple of weeks, that's a bit more like the Anna Nordqvist we've come to know.
Got it? Good.
This woman ranks inside the top 5 in both putting stats for the LPGA. That's Alice 4th in putting average, 5th in greens, putts per greens in regulation, 4th in fairways. It's little wonder she's such a consistent fixture on the LPGA.
Well, some very good up and down indeed for Lizette Salas, and once again a round of 68, and she finds herself with a top 5 finish.
And her earnings for the year now go up over $800,000, and $300,000 of that since she set foot on Asian soil a few weeks ago.
She and Angel Yin said they wanted to get a place in Tokyo together.
They can afford one now.
Oh, I don't know, not in Tokyo. You might need a bit more than 300,000 or 800,000.
Maybe get a 1-bedroom pod for 300,000.
Those capsule.
Well, she's got the 3.3 million career earnings, so she can draw on that.
She's got the down payment anyway.
And a Nordqvist to sew up 3rd spot. And a very good week. She comes to the end of a year where she became a major champion again.
Thanks, buddy. Great job.
Thank you.
Good job.
Now to the main game. third shots at the par 5. Neither of them easy.
Go! Oh, wow. Was it easy?
Yeah. How does it stop out of the rough? I don't know.
I'm not sure if that's
Wow.
a giggle of nervousness. She maintains that relaxed atmosphere, but I think underneath that she is bristling at a poor shot.
I thought she might have said that that was a stick. I thought I heard her mention maybe something about the lie. Hard to know, watching from the outside, what's going on.
Once again, that door is open for Suzuki. Up and down. And you think she's going to draw level with Shan Shan playing 18. Shan Shan does have a birdie putt.
上りぐらいですよね。そう、カップ付近はちょい上りだな。
You can only admire her composure under pressure on this back 9. When at times it looked as though the task might have been a little bit too much. She's hung in there, and she's got a little window of opportunity right here. Over to you, Shan Shan.
Momoko Ueda. Here she is on the 18th, looking to get it close.
I think you might need that pin rattled. Just a long chance for eagle for Charlie Hull. Settle down. And what Shan Shan Feng would give for a birdie putt like that right now.
Min Young Lee about to close out her week. And she'll give herself a birdie putt at the last. So many people so pleased to see this young lady back out on the course after the difficulties she had being diagnosed with cancer of the kidney not that long ago. And she's back out there and plying her trade.
Can you tell?
Just getting confirmation there on a spike mark.
Yeah, a little bit uphill.
Which in 2019, if that new rule comes in, you'll be able to tap those down without asking your playing partners.
Like just outside.
Yeah, just outside the hole, but the speed is perfect.
That would have been some serious gamesmanship if I said no.
Remember what happened last week in Malaysia at the 17th hole when we didn't think that Shan Shan was a chance of winning the title, and she holed a birdie there and things changed. This time she's got the advantage. Now she's got another one all around the hole, and she is going to have the lead going up the last.
Classic Shan Shan.
Cool as a cucumber Whereas at times her young opponent looks like her heart's been beating out of her rib cage. And you can understand why in front of her home galleries.
It's amazing in the blink of an eye how quickly the momentum can shift. It was so much in Suzuki's camp in her favour. Now a must-make putt.
This to go to the 72nd hole, one shot behind. In fact, of course, she goes to the 54th hole, one shot behind, because it is a 3-round tournament. Old habits die hard. We are on Sunday, and we're coming to the end of 3 great rounds. And what a contest we've seen today. And it's going to go all the way down to the wire, as we said in the opening to our coverage today that it might. Nice birdie for Charlie on the testing day.
3 matched birdies from this final group.
Watanabe at the final hole. Haven't seen too many hold at 18. Now, this is commemorating a moment that happened just a little bit earlier in the day when Anna Nordqvist was able to hole in one, and Keiichi Nomura, the president of Mainichi Broadcasting System Incorporated, with a little memento for Anna, and this is how she earned that memento. This was at the 3rd hole earlier today, 192 yards. Just perfect. And she was left in no doubt about the result of that. You could hear the roars echo around the golf course. Well, in the time of her illness, Min Young spoke about reading up a lot on what was afflicting her, and she said it didn't do her the world of good because she found out all of the things that may happen in a negative way, and that she emerged in a positive way. The surgeons told her she'd probably be off the golf course for 4 months. She was off for 2. Last hole, last day.
You have to wonder how much last year, the events from last year, is playing on Shan Feng's mind. She walked up to this tee with a 3-shot lead over Hana Zhang and double bogeyed coming down the stretch.
Just racing it through the break for Momoko Ueda. Yes, it's amazing when you cast your minds back to that fact with Shan.
Not much reaction from the gallery, but they tend to be quiet at 18. That makes things interesting. Good week for Momoko in front of her adoring home galleries. Just an even par 72 to finish. That is down there.
Just a little tap in left for par for Ayaka Watanabe. It's a step in the right direction for the 24-year-old.
This might be the first of several times they're playing the final hole. Well worth another look, as Momoko was ready to step up and make that part of the last. So Shanshan might have had a bit of a flashback. Talked about flashing back one day for I, or maybe Shanshan flashed back 12 months. It's not an easy par from that trap. And if it's required, they'll start the playoff at 18.
Well, around about an hour and a half ago, we saw Kari Nishiyama from a very similar position to Shanshan hit one of the shots of her life. Just a little bit of steel required for Feng from the sand on 18.
Suzuki managed to birdie this final hole on the first day. Remember, after she was 2 over par after 5 holes, and she absolutely slammed it in on Friday. And then she made a par here yesterday. You never know, a par might be good enough to get her into a playoff. She's not thinking that though. She's thinking, get this one as tight as you can. What an enjoyable contest this has been, between someone who's already cemented their place in the game and someone who will in time to come. There is the prize off in the distance, just one of many prizes.
What's the total again?
75. Right. So it is plenty longer. Behind the pin is 8. So it'd be 83 to the back edge. Like that? I don't think there's a whole lot of wind right now. Okay.
Because the real front is 16.
It's only 62.
62 and we go just on the left, right?
Yes, yeah, we're playing left of the pin.
Also,
If anything, it's supposed to be help a little off the left. Yeah.
like a 70 shot.
Go with a 70, that's fine.
So then, all the sums are done. Now it's just a matter of pulling the trigger. Pins cut 13 on, so that's 45 feet. This young lady has won twice this year on her home tour, but this is different. This is on the world stage. Wow, what a miscalculation that is.
It's one of the first real execution errors we've seen from Mai Suzuki on this back nine. Her ball striking has been exceptional when you think about how many chances for birdie she's had inside 10 feet. And to do that in this moment, it's advantage Shanshan yet again.
Charlie will probably play a shot that both of them would give their IT for. just wonder in the discussions with the caddy whether maybe they had the adrenaline factor in mind as well, because sometimes when it's flowing through your body, the ball can go a bit further. So now they're both faced with almost the same shot, but there's the difference right there in front of you. Shanshan's got a one-shot buffer.
Looks as though it may be Suzuki to be first to play, so it's still an opportunity to apply pressure. Mind you, her chances of out-scrambling the number 5 scrambler on the LPGA in Shanshan Feng, they're lofty at best.
Now, I'd like to introduce the 3 players coming up to the green of 18th hole. Coming up first from Japan, Suzuki. Next from China, Shanshan Feng. In the end, from England, Cherry Hall.
They're a knowledgeable crowd in this part of the world. They know their golf, they love their golf. And of course they'll be pulling for to take it to a playoff, which seems her best way of winning it now. But whoever wins, whether it's the Japanese player or the Chinese player, they'll appreciate what's gone on.
Pick that up. Yeah, you can. Exactly. You can pick that up.
Not much in the measurement here between the two of them.
You can, yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
If you wanted the perfect surface to chip from, you get it in this part of the world. Even though she's only 23, she knows the conditions really well.
She had to go for it.
Yeah. So then the equation is a simple one now. If Shanshan gets up and down, she defends successfully for the first time on the LPGA Tour. She's done it with other tournaments around the world.
It's still uphill, but not as much,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it just flattens out a little bit by the hole, but overall it's definitely an uphill pot.
Yeah. That last part especially is going to push a little bit to your right.
Like 3 cups on the left?
3 cups is perfect. Yes.
So Mercer can just say to her, put this stone dead, and you're the champion. And that is pretty well what she's done. How enjoyable has this final round been?
I think it's caught all of us off guard, to be honest with you. It really looked as though 2 players would stretch ahead, then the rest of the field came chasing, and then it came down to 2 right toward the end. The final shots counting.
And I think there you just saw a little bit of a gesture from Shan Shan. That might be the first time that she's been able to loosen the shoulders and release the pressure. She knows it's all but done now. So it's only Charlie who's going to be able to make a birdie at the last. Let's see whether she can do it to get it to -12.
Good try.
Testing year for the young lady from England in lots of ways, but a good way to get towards the end of the year here in Japan. Well, the victory for the young lady almost certainly won't come here in front of her home galleries, but a big win will come for her. There's hardly much question about that from what we've seen. Not only with her shot making, but her ability to withstand the pressure that comes on the final day. She's a very impressive package. And that makes it very easy for Shan Shan now. That even eases the pressure valve a little bit more. A sad way for it to end, but how much, Ali, is she going to be thinking about those putts on 11 and 12 and 13?
To think that Suzuki is still 5 under par for her round today, given the amount of missed opportunities there were on the greens. Part of her game that's usually the ultimate strength of hers.
It's a bogey at the last, but unquestionably we've seen a rising star in the game in Japan. Suzuki will take second, and the way is clear for the champion in waiting.
Okay, good job.
Lucky number 8 for Shan Shan, her 8th LPGA victory, and she replicates the deeds of 12 months ago. For the first time, she defends successfully.